was playing on the radio. It takes you back to singing in your bedroom. All the songs were still a dream inside.
Good morning everyone, how are we going today? It's Monday morning and I'm just going around the AI ewes. So originally they were meant to sort of start lambing yesterday, Sunday the 8th, but they've actually all sort of lambed Friday, Saturday for whatever reason. We don't really know why that was, whether polled Orsets lamb a little bit earlier, not really too sure, but most of them, as you saw from the drone footage, I just put the drone up, most of them, there's a lot of lambs about, which is really good. We didn't have any trouble whatsoever. We didn't have to pull any lambs, which was even better. And I'm just coming around this morning. There was, I think Dad said there was only about sort of half a dozen to lamb left. So I'm just going around them first thing this morning and thought I'd put the drone up and see what we could see with the drone. The sheep don't seem too bothered by it, which is good. It wasn't really how I was hoping this video would go. I thought I'd be able to film it all. But yeah, they all sort of lambed, a lot of them lambed on Saturday, and I was away with footy that day, so I didn't really get a chance to film a lot of it, unfortunately. So I do apologise for that. But yeah, I think another 3 or 4 lambed yesterday, and then I think there's only a few left to lamb today, so, or the next few days whenever they lamb. But so on Saturday, Dad actually moved a few of them onto the next paddock into the wheat there, just to try and spread them out a bit, because obviously there was a lot of little lambs, and when they're sort of a couple of days old, there was a chance they might have just mismothered. So Dad moved a few of the older lambs into the next paddock just through the gate up there, and just spread them out a little bit. And they all look pretty good there this morning. It doesn't look like there's any lambs straying about looking for their mum. No, it's really good to see. A few twins and singles. I thought there'd be a few more twins, but they're pretty good mums, the polled Orset ewes. They're not much gets past them. They've always got an eye on their lambs, which is good. Alrighty, so we're shearing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week, so we're just going to go mustering up at the other place. Just got merino ewes left, older sheep left, and that should be about it for older sheep. And then we've got a few like sort of younger sheep lambs and younger sheep to shear left, but they'll be done over the coming weeks. There won't be too many days left in them, but look at that mouse over there. There's a mouse over there, the bugger. God, they're buggers. All those bags are in oats, and we were covering them with the loosen bales to stop all the cockatoos from getting in the shed and piercing the bags. Ideally you'd have it in a silo, but we don't have that luxury at the moment. Look at the bugger. Yeah, so all this is all black buck seed oats that we bought in bulk and then bagged it up. So we'll use this over this or next year.
You might give it a go. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Alrighty, I just come down, dropped Dad off up at the other place to go and muster some sheep with the quad bike. He can't use his ute at the moment. It's just in getting a few things done to it, repairs. So I just dropped him off at the other place up there. He's gone mustering on the quad, and I just come down here to the place that my mate and I share farm, just to check on the lambs that we bought a week and a half ago. 150 odd crossbred lambs that we bought to try and fatten on this oats. It's not so good in this corner, but there's probably 10, 11 hectares of really good stuff. This is the stuff that we actually baled in the oaten video. There is a bit of weeds in it, as you can see, but underneath, like, it's thick as anything. So we'll chew it off with the lambs for the next hopefully 6-7 weeks, and they'll be gone. And then I'll probably come along and mulch all the weeds out of it, and hopefully that'll get the oats up and coming up through it. That's the plan anyway. Try not to use any spray if we don't have to. 1, because it's expensive, and 2, just because the only good thing it's doing is killing the weeds, and if we don't have to use it, we won't. So shh. So you can see there's a fair bit of other stuff in it too, but it is very good underneath. Like, it's just as good as any oats crop. This crop was self-sown, if you remember. We only cut a little bit of it last year over to the left there, and the rest of it all fell over and got a big storm and it all fell over and we couldn't make hay out of it, so it's just a self-sown crop again. And it's come back really well. Like, yes, there's a lot of mustard weed in here, but underneath it's just as good as any sown crop, and really thick too. Once we get over here it's even better. We'll come through and mulch it after these lambs are done with it. So I just bought these lambs out of the sale yards. Go back, go back. Here, Mags. Here, Maggie, good girl. Here, Maggie. Come behind. You can hear all the old stalks cracking under the tyres. So there's just a couple of fly struck ones I'm just going to pour some treatment on. That'll kill all the flies, and hopefully that's the end of the fly season. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's sort of getting frosts now, and that generally means the end of it. So just fix these up and have a look at them. And the only thing is, I might have to shear them again. I sort of got to make a decision in the next week or two, because we want sort of 4 or 5 weeks for them to start looking good again, because after you shear them you just want a little bit of skin on them, otherwise they won't be worth as much. Fellas like that fella there, he's probably alright, but there was 3 different mobs that we bought, and some of them like yeah, like this fella, they just might need shearing again, which is a shame, but luckily I can shear them so it won't cost us anything. Because yeah, when you're starting out like we are here with nothing, well, sort of with nothing, like we've got machinery and stuff to sow crops, but no stock. It's you sort of got to maximise in any way you can. If I can shear them myself, that's obviously another cost we don't have to pay for. But no, they're going really well. They got a drench, a 5-in-1, a 6-in-1 actually, and a multi-min off the truck. They'll be going ahead now really well. It's good to see that they are. They're all happy. They all come, whenever I come down here, they've always had their mouths down, and whenever Dan comes down here, he said they've always got their mouths down, so which is good. What do you reckon? Nope. Go back. Go back. Go up. Good girl. Go back. Sit. There we go. Yes. Good girl. Bop. No. Get up. I'm not lifting you up. You lazy mongrel. Here. Good girl. See? You can do it fine. You don't need me. Do ya? So I'm just going to call into the paddock of canola that we sowed a few videos ago. I've only seen it from the road. I haven't actually driven into that paddock, and it looks good from the road, so we'll call in and have a look, eh? It's looking pretty good. Must have put him in the right way up. It's a little bit, you can see just here, the leaves have turned purple, and I'd say what's happened is it's got real wet just through here. I'd say that's what it is. It's just gone. Not a very nice colour. Whether that'll recover or not, I don't know. There's still a fair bit of green in it. Looks very healthy though. It's even better over that side too, because it's not as wet over there. This little corner here just gets a bit wet. We actually got 2 2 spreaders bogged here when we were liming this paddock before we sowed it a year ago. So this paddock was in wheat last year, now it's gone into canola. What we do with it next year or the end of this year, I'm not too sure. We might go into pasture because there's a fair few lake bed rocks over there, and so we wouldn't really be able to bale this paddock. This next one would be alright, I think. But no, this is looking real good. These are all the ewes we saw last week in the last video. Just coming over to check them, make sure there's none that look real miserable. Has been a little bit cold the past day or so, so just coming over to make sure there's none that are real tucked up or you know, just miserable from the cold. They're alright. Today's a cracking day. And this week's sort of looking alright too, so that's really good. So Dad's just been mustering the merinos that we're shearing this week, about 840 I think. So this is all the crossbred wool that we saw last Thursday. Came up and did one day up in this shed here. So I just got to weigh these bales and write it down because this press doesn't have any scales on it. Then I just got to press one more bale up, see if the rest of this will fit in there, and yeah, see how we go. Each bale's got a brand. So wool description, it's crossbred wool, so it's 3AFX. And then bale number 1. Alrighty, just branded a few of these. Remember how I said this press wouldn't press over 200 kilos really? Well, I was wrong. That one's 220 and that one's 208, which is a bit annoying, but we'll just have to repress, take a bit off the top of them. Anyway. So I've just been down to give those twin lambers another bale of loosened hay. I'll turn the fan on this tractor and it smells a little bit like mice, so I've just pulled the filter out, and I'll pull the cab filters out too and give them a clean and see if there's anything going on in there. Can't see anything under the cab, but yeah, it's a bit of a worry, the buggers. Seems to be gone now. The trouble is that we've got this seed oats around here and all this hay, this loosened hay, which doesn't attract too many mice, but it's certainly a good place for them to live. But this seed oats is probably the main cause of it. I'd like to buy like a smaller silo, you know, 5 or 10 ton silo that we could put all our seed oats and seedweed in, second hand or something. Just because this is no good. Like, really, this shouldn't be in the shed with the machinery. It's just attracting mice. Really, that's why I'm trying to keep all the machinery over that side of the shed and you know, the hay and just other bits and pieces here, just to try and create a bit of a barrier, so that little buggers don't get in the truck or tractors. Because pretty big horror stories if a mouse gets into a modern tractor these days, the amount of electrics and wires and stuff that's in them. Be scary, I'd say. The old Fergie. It's a 148, this one. It's lost its badge, but my grandfather baled a hell of a lot of little bales with that tractor. back when they moved over here and they did a bit of contracting. Still never misses a beat. It's had a new head gasket in it and that's it. Just waiting for Daddy's gone down to check a mob of sheep at the other place at the moment. We're going to go and clean up the shed up at Doughboy at the next place, but obviously because his utes can get it in at the mechanics, I can't go up there without a ute. So while I'm waiting for him, actually, I remember a comment asking about the crate and how it works and the truck and stuff. So the truck is a UD or a Nissan diesel. It's 470 horsepower. So it's actually a prime mover that's been converted, like a stretched axle. 30-foot tray on it, 2 decks of sheep, 1 deck of cattle. This back door, this whole thing can actually open up. Take these pins out and the whole back door opens up so you can get a few pallets of stuff in there. So we actually built this crate when we bought the truck, which is we've only had it for, it's coming on 2 years now nearly, I think. It might have been July or August 2020 we bought the truck. We built this crate for it ourselves. So it holds 2 decks of sheep. Obviously you can see here these decks are down. And these are folded up so that you can get cattle in here. And they're pretty easy to fold down. All you do is just and then obviously one deck of sheep can go underneath, and then this is a ramp here that drops down, and then the sheep come up and you can get 2 decks of sheep then. Obviously these fold down and then they create a barrier so that the cattle aren't pushing on this aluminium all the time. You'll see on the cattle crates, they've got flat aluminium, but it's actually on the inside of the posts, and that just puts a lot more strength, because obviously cattle are a hell of a lot bigger than sheep and they push and carry on they're a bit more unsettled in the truck than the sheep are. So what this does is just, so obviously the cattle bump into this and are pushing against this instead of on the rail. But they just close like that. This one's a little bit loose. We need to tighten the spring up a little bit. A couple of times the sheep have rubbed on it and opened it up. But yeah, it works pretty well. It's a fair bit of an upgrade from our old crate. The old crate was sort of, well, it was old. And just about buggered, like it was all rusted on the bottom, and it either needed a lot of work doing or getting a new one. So when we bought this new truck, we thought a brand new, you know, crate of this size with 2 decks from a company. I mean, we looked at some and they were up to 50 grand. That'd be sort of the higher spec ones. You know, we couldn't really, for what we do, we couldn't really justify spending that money unless we're going to start carting some stock for people, which I think we're busy enough without having to do. Yeah, we decided we'd build it ourselves, and yeah, it was just a lot cheaper to do it that way. It did take a lot of time. Cold winter nights, spent it in the shop there welding away, but we got it done in the end, and now it's a good thing. We don't know ourselves, it's really good. It's like, it fit very comfortably 150 lambs. 50 odd kilo lambs on there, no worries. Another thing we did too, building ourselves, the luxury of building ourselves, so it's 2 meters tall. A lot of other crates were only 1.8, meaning that each deck height was 900 mil, whereas ours is a meter each deck. The main reason we did that, we went 2 meters, was because we've obviously got the old Orset stud and the rams that we sell, and if they're away somewhere, if they're on adjustment, if we have a hard year or something, and we've got to bring them back, we want as much room on the bottom deck as we can. That was another problem with our old crate. The bottom deck was really low, and yeah, the rams there wasn't a lot of space for the rams underneath on the bottom. So that's another reason we went with 2 meters tall instead of 1.8. Also made that middle post there between the 2 gates removable, so you can actually take that out and open the gates up, and then, you know, if we get the chance to lease country, you know, a bit further west, 2 or 3 hours away, we'll be able to drive a vehicle or something on the back here, and take it all out at once. Made the dog box too for Maggie to stick her head out and chase the cars, the silly dingo. But anyway guys, I think that's going to be long enough for another video. I've done a fair bit of talking this morning. I hope that didn't get too boring. I just was sort of more checking things this morning, and I think that's made in for a long enough video. We're just going to go off and clean that shed up now. So I don't know about you, but I probably wouldn't want to watch someone cleaning up for 4 or 5 hours. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. The next video will probably be up there shearing the merino ewes, so watch out for that video. Alrighty guys, see ya, bye.